doing a little bit of a explanation on our farming practices, and especially the reasons why we do the decisions and then the way that we farm in this vineyard. Is every plot of land is different, um, so you have to treat it as it is, because if you try to do something that works for you down at the lower sections of the like the valley here in Paso. If you try to do what works for you there up in these mountains, I mean, you're not gonna have a good results. These mountains are really difficult to farm because the soil, the soils that we have here, can change dramatically within 100 feet. So you have to work and try to make uh, those soils healthier to be able to farm at a level that you can produce quality fruit. And in this particular site where we're standing, the property, if you notice, if we walk just a few feet, and you can see on the vineyard, starting on this road, the different coloration of the vineyard. You see that yellowish tips, those yellowish leaves, and on the other side you can see the greenish, where it changes dramatically. It's because the soil type in here, if to the west we have the linicalodo soils, which doesn't have much organic matter on the top. I mean, there is only about 8 inches of topsoil, and then beneath that is, a pure bed of linicalodo. And on the east of the property, we have more of the limestone boulders, and there's a little bit more of the topsoil on it. So that's why the vines have a different behavior. The limestone boulders retain more of the moisture. So those vines have more moisture available, more topsoil, so the organic matter is more heavy on that side. So that's why it maintains the vines at a healthier level. So what I'm doing for us here on the areas where we don't have that organic matter on the top, I'm adding compost, I'm adding cover crops, I'm adding, everything that I can add to build up the soil to a level that it would maintain the health of the vines. I want to bring in animals as well. I mean, anything that I can do organically to build up the soil, that's what I'm looking. I'm looking towards the future, because we can see it on the changes in weather, and every year we get more warmer days, we get less rain, so we have to create our soils, our soil health, to be able to cope with those changes on the weather. Because as we move towards the future, we need to have soils that can be able to retain more moisture, and the way that we can be able to do that is to build up the organic matter, bring in compost. I'm building a compost pile here, so I can build my own compost. I'm a big believer of self-sustained vineyards, and I think that's a good step. Utilize what you have to build your own compost, which all of the plants that we throw away from the winery. It's a good way to start to make your own compost. So I'm working on that, and like I mentioned again, bringing in animals into the vineyard. Everything that we can do to increase the level of health of the soil is what is going to give us that advantage on the changes in the weather in the future to come. Everything we do in here is organically. I am a big believer of, what you're putting into the ground is what you're going to get in return. If you mistreat your soils, you're going to get that back. And so that's why I don't use any herbicides. The only pesticides that I use is the fungicide to take care of the mildew problems. Because mildew problems here on these hills is pretty high. We get the fog rolling every morning, and all of that humidity is perfect, environment for the powdery mildew. And a little bit of powdery mildew is not a big problem, but when you have levels of powdery mildew that can damage the fruit, that's a different thing. But we like to maintain that pretty clean, and that's the only thing that I take care with sulfur and other materials that are up there. Mostly of the materials that we use for powdery mildew are organic. Sometimes, you fall into a little bit of trouble. You have to use a little bit of, other stuff in there. But I try to maintain the organic control for powdery mildew. Anything else we do, by hand. The weeding, everything else. You always learn. If you're stuck on a belief from the past, with the changes we get in, you gotta get stuck. But you have to always be improving and trying to try new things. And there's always new information, coming from, Davis and other universities that are doing trials. You always have to be updated and be able to, integrate those changes into the vineyard, because we're seeing the changes on the weather. It's a battle every year, trying to cope in with the changes. Weather throws you curves every year, and you have to be able to understand that and be able to make those changes within time, because farming grapes is everything about timing. And one of the things that I believe strongly is that you have to be prepared, and it's a word I'm looking for. Oh man, I got a senior moment right there.
I have them all the time.
The key for organic farming is prevention. Always prevent things from happening, and that's what's gonna give you the advantage in that. Because if you try to always be ahead, build a program where you prevent from, for example, you prevent from mildew to get established in the vineyard. That's going to give you an advantage, because you don't have to use hard chemicals to kill it. Powdery mildew is a fungus that if it gets established on your vineyard, now you're going to have to use a heavy chemical to kill it. So prevention is the key for things to happen in the vineyard. And I think a lot of the farmers that do what I do are gonna tell you the same thing. There's insects that are really hard to kill, so preventing those insects to get established in the vineyard is going to give you a huge advantage to prevent you from using hard pesticides. So all of that, we have to work in conjunction. And again, every year is going to be different. You have bad break early, you have big rains like this year. They are going to bring some challenges, because you have big canopy. Insects love that, and so you have to be able to prevent that from happening. Like for example, I release a lot of beneficial insects in the vineyard, and years like this, that we have big canopies, I release double the amount of insects that I release, because I know that there is going to be more, leaf hoppers. There's going to be more insects that are going to eat the vines. So you have to be able to, in advance, take care of that to again prevent from an infestation of insects on the vine. Because as soon as you get an infestation, now you have to spray something to kill it. And when you kill, the bad insects, a lot of times you kill the beneficials too. So that's why you're preventing that from happening. So you want to be a friend to the nature. And I think if you work with nature, nature helps you take care of a lot of the problems in the field.